So what are the 5 top tips for delivering great presentations? Here they are. The first one is to be enthusiastic. Now that might be easier said than done, but here are a couple things to dial in your enthusiasm. First of all, don't be afraid to smile and be energetic. There's a tendency for us when we speak to say, I better be professional, better not mess up. But you want to be professional certainly in your content, but by all means, your audience wants to connect with you as a human being. They want to see some emotion. They want to see you be engaged in your material. And then in terms of being engaged and being excited about what you're talking about, even if it's a relatively challenging topic, like let's say a compliance thing or some other aspect that might not have the most pizzazz to it, try to find one key idea or one thought that you are excited about, or you'll be excited thinking about your audience embracing or acting on or delivering, and then dial that in. And then remember, someone somewhere thought you'd be a good person to deliver this. They thought you'd be a good messenger. So let that be something you take with you as well. So be enthusiastic. The second one is to start off with a bang and start big. And what I mean by that is to try to use a SPARK. A SPARK is an acronym which stands for the S being a surprising statistic, the P being a picture or video, the A being an anecdote or story, the R being a real life example, and then the Q actually has 2 aspects. The first Q is a question, just a rhetorical or otherwise. And then the other Q is to quote someone. Famous, your uncle, someone local, doesn't matter, but quote something to draw people in. Now, the reason why I say use a SPARK and open big is because too often people begin very poorly. We talk about ourselves. Here's my background, here's what I've done, here's where I've served. No one really cares about that. Start off by giving them something of value. And once you've given them some value and something of interest, they'll want to repay you in kind with their attention, with their focus. So be enthusiastic, open with a SPARK. Number 3 is to make sure that you meet the expectations that were set out in the brochure or the promotional materials. One of the number 1 complaints that comes up here at the Minnesota CLE is too often what people said they would do or what they provided in their materials is not what they actually talked about. And that can be very frustrating. And keep this in mind, and Stanford University proved this, that a confused mind always says no. So if your audience is confused about you or your material, they're going to basically shut down and not give you the benefit of the doubt. So make sure that as you put your presentation together, what I often do is I will put out the promotional materials or the description right here and use that as the guide to put my material together. Whether you type it up or you're doing research, make sure that what you promoted is what you're going to say and stick to it. Number 4 is to use visual aids and to use them appropriately. Now remember what a visual aid used to be before the world of technology and before the world of PowerPoint. It was truly an aid that helped you visually. So in other words, as you deliver your materials, your speech, your visual aid made your material stronger. But at the same time, your visual aids were speaker dependent and required you, the speaker, to bring them to life. Very much a symbiotic relationship that you studied in biology back in the day. So have good visuals, have some color to them, have pictures, and if you want more information on this, we have a 5-minute video on the top 5 tips for putting together good PowerPoint presentations. And then the final point is to make sure you practice what you said you were going to do, or actually practice your presentation. So rarely is there ever a professional out there, an actor, an athlete, an attorney, a banker, a salesperson, you name it, who can get up and do what they do very well without any kind of practice. So by all means, carve out some time, not just to put your presentation together, but also spend some time practicing it, and I really encourage you to practice it out loud. There's a big difference between this, practicing, and good morning. I want to talk to you today about, and then you go through the material and you try it out and see how your inflection sounds and see how your transitions sound, and you can get a whole sense of that. And if you're ever pushed for time, practice these 3 things, and that will help you in the preparation arena. Your opening, your closing, and your transitions. Practice your opening so you grab them from the beginning. Practice your closing so you finish strong. And then your transitions are important because usually people are good at their main content, but they're not as strong as transitioning from one subject to another. So you practice those 3 things, you'll be good to go. So be enthusiastic, open with a bang, meet expectations, use good visual aids, and then lastly, make sure you practice, and you will light it up when you give your next program.